In this video, I'm going to start to talk about some of the Illustrator terminology. The idea of what it is to have an anchor and a path. The idea of what it means to have a fill and a stroke. So, coming in to help me out, I'm going to make a rectangle. And one of the things I'm going to show later on is arrangement. So I'm going to also make another shape on top. And I use the ellipse tool, so I'm going to make kind of an oval. The one thing I want you to realize here is that the shape I made second was placed on top of my previous shape. If I deselect, I can see what I have created by clicking off my space in open space. Now, the tool that I'm going to use to kind of highlight these anchors and paths is the tool right next to the direct selection tool. It does a lot of similar things the selection tool does, but it also does some things that the other tool can't do. Now, to go over top and show you what anchors are. Anchors are our corners or our points. So that's what they mean. So anchors equal points. And if I go down this, it is a path. So paths are the lines between 2 points. So I have an anchor over here and an anchor over here, and I have a path in between. The direction selection tool is kind of neat because I can select points or anchors, and then once I select them, I can click and drag and I can transform those shapes. I can also select paths, deselect, select the path that I want, and then I click that side and click and drag that side down to extend that path. So it has some really cool things you can do to transform shapes that already exist. If I select the path and I move that path around, I can stretch certain things out. We'll talk about these handles later. Now, the idea there is anchor is our point, path is the distance or the line in between our 2 points. Once again, I'm going to go back to the selection tool, and the next thing I'm going to talk about is just the idea of when I have a shape selected, what it really means to have a fill and a stroke color. The fill color is the color that is inside our actual path and anchors. It is the fill, like the paint bucket used to work in Photoshop. Now, coming over here, I can select this and I can double click to change or to see this whole color swatch. I can come over here, grab a different color, select a different color, grab it here, and then hit OK, and it will change my piece. I can also do that changing of colors up here, and there's numerous swatch libraries to go and look at if you want to pick different colors. That's how we change our fill color. If I select the outline portion right here, which is referred to as the stroke, it allows me to change my outline color. And also it allows me to turn it off. I can do this with my fill color also. But if I select it, I can turn my outline off, or I can turn it on by selecting it over here again to my color, and I can change that color also. And over here to the side of my stroke, I can also change the stroke weight, which means how thick it is. If you don't know what the points mean, you can come in here and enter. We know this is 5 centimeters from top to bottom, and it's 8 centimeters across. If you wanted to have a 0.5 centimeter outline or stroke, you can enter it there and hit enter, and it will put it on that piece. Now, I can do this once again for my oval or my shape that I made over here, just by coming in, selecting my color. I can change the color up here, or I can come over here and select my stroke color and double click that to change it over here. There's many ways to do things in Illustrator. Make sure you select OK. If I wanted to make that thicker, once again, select up here. If I want it to be 0.2 centimeters, I can type it in and hit enter. And that's 0.2 centimeters. I believe it's on both sides though, so it might actually end up being 0.4. Now, the next piece that I want to talk about is, in the selection tool, if we wanted our previous shape in front of our last shape, there's a couple ways to do it, but I'll show you the way we can learn right now, and that is by right-clicking, going down to here where it says arrange, and then we can send that backward. And it will move the top one into position. We can also, if we want to reverse that, right-click, arrange, and then send that backward. It gets a little more confusing when we have numerous shapes, but that's one way to make sure our arrangement is correct. I will talk about layers later. Thank you.